everyone, I'm your host Leron Young, and today on Let's Talk About It, we'll be discussing the topic of Trump's wall and immigration. But before we get into the conversation, I want you guys to meet our guests for today.
Hi, I'm Mike Killen. I'm a sophomore at Rowan University, and I'm an RTF major.
Hi, I'm Maddie Devers. I'm an RTF major, and I'm operations manager at Rowan Radio.
Hi, I'm Christiana Arango. I'm an RTF major, and I play club lacrosse.
Now, before we get into our conversation today, we're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned because we'll be right back.
Dying of starvation and need food now? Download Grubhub. Grubhub is a secure, free app that allows you to order any meal instantly at your fingertips and updates you on the readiness of your order. Update your food ordering app to Grubhub. It's just a simple download away.
Before we start, we're going to show a quick video to get the conversation going.
The Border Network for Human Rights has been a staunch critic of the Trump administration's immigration policies for years, including family separation. Now the Border Network says it's that criticism that caused Hugs Not Walls to be canceled indefinitely back in May.
We went through 2 years of a very aggressive policy towards families and children. And in that context is that we couldn't have that event.
In May, the Border Network for Human Rights claimed that the U.S. Border Patrol refused to cooperate in holding Hugs Not Walls due to the agency's allegiance to the Trump administration. Border Patrol responded, denying the cancellation being due to politics and adding that in May, the agency couldn't spare any agents to supervise the event due to the peak of the humanitarian crisis at the border.
If we're able to maintain the security of the border, maintain the border structure, maintain the safety of the agents and all of the participants, we're always going to be here. Just previously, we weren't able to guarantee that.
Today, Border Network founder Fernando Garcia says that Hugs Not Walls is happening again because the Border Patrol has since undergone a leadership change.
We need to say it. I mean, all of this is possible because of the willingness of the new chief of the Border Patrol to allow the coordination of this event. Previously, we couldn't have that kind of dialogue.
But Border Patrol says the agency is helping simply because it can now spare the manpower.
Okay, so after watching that video, how do you guys feel about Trump's wall?
Well, what I have to say about that is that I think that in a way, I think it is actually helpful. I think the biggest problem is that the immigration, it's not, the immigration process is too long, like to legally immigrate, and I think that it should be easier to legally immigrate into this country. And I also believe that the separation of families, children from their mothers and fathers is disgusting, and it's not a good look for not just the president, but for the entire country. I think it's just a bad look, but I think that the wall can stop against the cartels bringing drugs into the country and other stuff. So I think there's a lot of positives there, but we need to reform immigration as a whole.
I mean, I disagree that it would do anything to deter crime because, like, I've read stories about, like, people who are pushing drugs, like, launching them over the wall, like, well, the fence that there's currently there, like, just throwing them over like a baseball. Like, then that does nothing to stop. Mm-hmm. So, like, people are going to find a way to get around anything.
So, do you guys think it's necessary? Why or why not?
I don't think it's necessary, but because I think it's going to cost a lot, especially I think it was like $2-something billion for the wall. I don't know, but it's going to cost a lot, obviously, and that's just going to affect how much, taxpayers are paying. So I wouldn't say it's necessary, but I do think it will deter, just people just walking through and illegal immigration, but you're still going to have, obviously, people that are being smuggled in through plane and from other countries. So you're really not solving the issue as a whole, but you're solving one part of it. I don't know how else to put that, but
I don't think a physical wall is helping anything, like physically.
So does this kind of situation affect you, like a family member or a friend that you know, maybe? Or
it doesn't affect me. I don't know anyone personally that's dealing with issues from the wall or anything.
Okay, so with Trump building the wall, what do you see in the future for the U.S.?
I see a future of isolation because I feel like that's what he's trying to do. Currently, we're on the offense a lot with a lot of other countries, with the UN, with Mexico and Canada. Just we're completely like cutting ourselves off, and I feel like that's not something we should be doing because we won't have any allies in the future if we keep going like this.
I understand that part, but I also understand that like America is where everyone wants to get to, and if it's we're where people want to get to. So if we just open the gates and let everybody in, which like humanely and like morally you want to help people, you want to give people a better life, at the same time we can't just accept everybody.
Okay. Before we continue the discussion, we're going to take another short break. Be right back.
All right, guys, I think I'm gonna head out.
Yo, man, you sure you're good to drive?
No, man, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't think he's alright.
Yeah, we should probably go get him.
Don't drink and drive. Make the right choice.
Now we take a look at Rowan campus to hear what your average student has to say about the topic.
When I see the word immigrant, what comes to mind?
Person not from the country. People not natively from America that moved here.
Well, my family we were immigrants. I was born here, but my parents are immigrants, so I'm comfortable with that word.
Whenever I think of immigrant, I think of my parents. So my parents are immigrants from Pakistan, and I'm first generation American. And whenever I think about my parents, I think about the sacrifices they have made to come here and give me a better quality of life.
How do you feel about immigrants?
I don't mind. Obviously, you can't. There's obviously always bad and goods to it, but as long as they want to, this is such a. Sorry, I don't mind. Realistically, I don't mind. I don't have any bad notions about it. It's whatever.
I don't really have an opinion. I think it's just kind of like it's like what our country's based off of. So.
I think they diversify like the American culture.
Have you heard of Trump's political plans of the wall being built in our southern borders?
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Do you think it's necessary?
Nah.
Absolutely not.
Why do you feel that way?
We need immigration reform because immigrants make our country stronger.
I think it's really expensive and not really going to do anything, but the idea of limiting illegal immigrants isn't terrible.
Okay. How would you go about handling immigration if you were in that position?
I think the process of becoming an American citizen is completely messed up, like the way that they do it. Like my grandma has been trying to get citizenship for the last 13 years, and they're not letting her because she doesn't speak English, but she's also like 80 years old, so she's not going to learn English now.
It's hard. I'm not very versed in immigration. Obviously, we do need better security. We shouldn't allow people to come over here illegally. But I would just try to strengthen up Border Patrol. I guess a better but a faster vetting process for people who are trying to come over here illegally. And overall, just try to find something better than a stupid wall.
So I feel like it's very hard to think of these things because it's like majority of the ways immigrants come into this country is through like flying in, not through crossing the border necessarily like by walking. Some do, but not all. So it's like I think you pros like better border control through like security and from like internationally, like for airports and everything like that.
I would actually work with my board of advisors in my cabinet and put people who are not white supremacists and nationalists on the board so that we can actually do things to benefit everyone because everyone does better when everyone does better.
How would you describe the way that illegal immigrants are being treated down at the border?
Very badly. They are ripping children away from their families, and not only that, but the way people speak about immigrants in the country is just a very enabling way, and everybody feels entitled to have an opinion, I guess, and that opinion can be very harmful because it's not just words, it does get dangerous.
We have concentration camps at the border. How I feel about it is that it's absolutely reprehensible and that everyone who has been involved, everyone who has helped detain these people, they need to go on trial and they need to be held accountable for their actions.
Now, what are your guys' reactions to the people's opinions?
I completely agree with everything that was said about the family separation being absolutely disgusting, because I feel like that's not what America should be, and that's what we're turning into. And like, there's some people who are for the policies that lead to family separation, and they shouldn't be. And it's an entire just crap show.
Now, I've got a few additional questions for you. So, it's a common complaint that immigrants are taking up space and resources. Do you agree or disagree?
No, of course not. There's always enough room for people in this country to, live and work. I just think that the process of them getting here needs to be easier, because we're built off immigration, and that's how, these people are coming in, and they can't, like that one person said that his grandmother's been trying to get into this country for 13 years. That is ridiculous. It should not take that long.
Yeah, so do you think there's some kind of solution that we can come up with to
I don't know what that solution would be. I'm sure someone down the road will figure it out. We need to find a way to, the separation of families needs to be stopped. I know that they tried to stop it, and they said they officially did, but it's still going on. It shouldn't be still going on now at this point. It's disgusting. I don't know how they'll make the immigration process easier. They just need to, just because you don't speak English. I mean, there's a lot of places where you can go in the world where most of the population speaks a different language. For example, in Florida, parts of southern Florida, they speak a lot of Spanish down there. So, I mean, there are places for those people where they can go and they can feel accepted. So,
okay, so do you think the building the wall will actually achieve in stopping illegal immigrants from crossing the border illegally?
No.
I don't think it'll do it completely, but I think it'll somewhat stop it. But I don't think it won't completely solve the issue.
I think it's just a complete and utter waste of
money. It is, yeah.
I think it is too expensive though, but I think there, could be some practical use for it. But
so what are some ways to stop immigrants from crossing the border illegally?
Make the legal immigration process easier. Yeah. Make it so that they have ways and paths to get over here. Because when you talk to people about illegal immigration, they say, oh, they need to take the legal path. They need to take the right path. But the right path isn't there. It doesn't exist. And you can't go on a path that doesn't exist. So we need to create more ways for people to get into this country legally.
Okay, so if parents were illegal immigrants, but they already have kids who are natural born citizens, would you say it's all right for them to stay? Why or why not?
It should be.
This issue is weird for me because I think that if your parents are being deported, now this is just me, I don't necessarily agree, but I think that the parents and the kids should always stick together. If the parents are being deported, I think that doesn't mean, because the kids are just going to stay here and the kids are just going to be, in these camps or whatever. They need to go with their families.
Okay. Thank you all for tuning in to today's show. Let's talk about it. I'm your host, Leron Young. Join us next time, same time next week, and have a wonderful day.